Well, good morning, traders. Let's see what the pre-market has left for us, if anything. Okay, let's see. Doesn't look like much. All right, so today we don't really have any earnings. We have a lot of earnings, but nothing really significant. We have a lot of speakers. I think we have 8 Fed speakers, different speakers this week. 8:20 Central is Bowman. 10 o'clock, we have the New York Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectations. Not a really big deal, but we don't have much else. We have the 3-month, 6-month auctions at 10:30 Central, Barkin at 11, Kashkari at 12, and then federal budget balance 1300 Central. Current business, a lot of Fed speakers. German office property prices, lowest on record, biggest drop on record. UK recession numbers this week. See if they went into recession last year. And Asian markets are closed for the new year. Okay, so let's see what we have done. So Friday here, we had a really bullish day where we opened up at this week high, tested lower, and then moved higher pretty strongly the rest of the day. We left a buy tail, took the IB high, and then ended up leaving some singles where we started another distribution, so double distribution day. New all-time highs. So let's see. We have a very tight overnight range. What is the 8 points, more or less? So not a lot happened in the overnight session at all. We are moving towards the lows right now. 92,000 volume, extremely low. So assuming there was hardly anything in the actual Asia session, most of that weight being carried by the Euro session. So just starting off, we'll be watching, I know we'll flip over to, let's see, on ES, look at these levels right here. So these are the walls by OI. So we have this 50-50 on SPX, which is a big strike, and then that'll be 50-67 on ES. So that'll put us up here, right above our 1 sigma up, will be the OI call wall. And then the other call wall is way above that. And take a look at SPY. We have some support. So this is where we've basically been pinned to. This wall right here at 500, 501 on SPY. And we can look at things we weren't able to accomplish were the things we did accomplish, basically filling these singles in. So that's going to be another area that I watch to the downside. So we'll look to the upside. We've got the previous high, and if we can get above that, then we'll look towards this 50-50, make sure we can get above those 2 levels. And then it'll be on to 62, 67, which would be our 1 sigma up, 1 sigma up, and then our OI call wall. On the downside, we'll be watching the overnight low, and then these singles. This would be an area that I'm interested in trying along the first time. We don't have much of a POC here, but we do have this pullback low. Basically, this whole area down here where we have this pullback low, we have the top of the buy tail, the open, this week high. So this is an area I'm going to be definitely keeping an eye on. We have a lot of stuff below here that's supportive. Finally, some kind of strong structure. So this is our monthly POC way down here, 5013 or so. So that would get us back into this range where we have the weekly VPOC, monthly VPOC. We have this TPOC from both sessions. We have a lot of stuff down here before we can even get to this gap, try to fill this gap. NQ is a very similar story. I think we have a triple distribution on NQ. We've had a triple distribution on NQ. So below the overnight low gets us into the second distribution. We have this set of singles here. And one of the markets I really want to keep an eye on is a Russell. The Russell is at this top of this big balance area here. And we've taken the previous day's high. We're actually trading above it right now. So a little more bullish on the RTY. That's something to keep an eye on. Then we have some weakness in crude. Really on the Russell, I'll be watching this upper distribution and then overnight lows to hold. Let's see, I'll load here. Take a look at it. All right. We've got the silver. Very interesting how I did that. What happens when you hit the wrong button? Okay. So we moved up, been moving up on crude, and we've taken the previous day's low. This was a very strange day on CL. We have some excess at the lows, but we have a little bit of excess at the highs if I zoom in on this. And the ETH, the overnight trading, we've already taken the overnight low. So I'm looking for CL to open up. Maybe look for some resistance here at the previous POC, the overnight high, and move lower to the gap, see if we can fill some of this gap. And the other market was gold. So quite the tail on gold. So we can almost break this into two sessions here, where we've taken this low and we're moving towards our balance low. So this is definitely an area that I want to keep an eye on. If we can close below this today, then I think we start another move down. And if not, if we find buyers here, then probably go back up. I'd like to see us look below and fail, and then look for it to get back above the VWAPs, go back up towards the balance high. Those are all the markets I really want to keep an eye on. All right, so here's NQ, ES on the left, NQ on the right. See what I've got loaded in this one. I've got the Russell loaded on that chart. Overnight inventory, like I said, very low volume in the overnight session, very tight range. So, we're just kind of rotating around this close. So I'm not looking for any kind of inventory adjustment at the open. We'll just be watching. We have CPI tomorrow. We have PPI this week. So we'll just look to see if we get an open auction. And I'll be hands off definitely if we get an open auction. Just let things develop and see if we get any decent volume today. We might be able to take the overnight high, maybe move up a little bit higher above Friday's high. But the first thing I'm expecting is just some balance after this move up. And we've had 14 weeks out of the last 15 have been time framing up, 22% gain since Halloween on SPX. So it's doing its job. It's doing a good job, and look for continuation, but not quite sure if we're going to get it today. So Just looking over my notes. So as far as our probabilities, we're looking open higher in range, 71% probability of the previous mid, which is right below these single prints here. 51% probability of the previous high. This might not be too much to expect another neutral day. So we didn't have very good volume or range Friday. And obviously that's been a trend lately. Just looking over my other stats. See if there's anything else to pay attention to, but that's pretty much it. So we'll kick back, turn the news on, and wait for the open. There's some of this other stuff. And some music.
Market on open, imbalance currently sitting at 77 million to the sell side.
All right, so we're open.
Do you want to stay up to date with the latest and be on the bleeding edge of news for non-farm payrolls? Then sign up today and get our special offer of Financial Juice Pro for a year's worth of our service for the price of 1 month and save 92%.
Yes, open 50.43.50. ADD. 800 and moving higher. WebNQ dropping. Like it's fixing to take the overnight low. Open auction on ES. Not a happening. Moving up on ES, take the overnight high, see if they can do it. So we end up closing the on session with 98K in volume. And 3,000 delta. Pretty uneventful. Now we're moving up towards the open on NQ. See if we can take the open. It'll be right around our previous POC. Not a very well defined POC. Overnight POC's right in the same place, so that adds a little bit to it. The POC never moved up on ES. It stayed in the lower distribution. Alright, so we got the open on NQ. Right back in the middle of the range for ES. Still haven't gotten the overnight high or low. ADD with a high of 1,300, pulling back down to about 1,000 right now. Ticks moving negative. So still an open auction on ES. NQ seeing pretty positive delta. Four-point range on ES. ES trading pretty thinly. Delta's really not that strong on ES. It's quite a bit stronger on NQ. Let's see if NQ could push here. But might have both of them get the overnight high if that's the case. Be interested in a short on ES here if we get the overnight high. It'd be just a scalp short. See what the Russell's doing. Still building above mid. I've got this set. I've got this set to energies. That's why we have another period here. So as we're rotating up on ES, we have negative delta. We have NQ moving lower. Breadth is moving higher. Tick is up there in top of its range around 700. We have VIX moving up. So I'm interested in trying to short here on ES, but I want to see it push a little higher first. We're getting a situation now. We're getting enough delta that may actually cause it to squeeze higher. That's not what I want. ADD is back up there around 1300. NQ's almost back to mid. Yeah, it's just kind of hanging out here.
US oil futures turning positive after falling $1 a barrel early in the session.
So that strength in ADD, that 1300 is a Russell.
Protect your trades from macro
Small
headline
caps.
risk with Financial Juice Pro. Now only $99 a year for our real-time service.
So we can tell just by looking at that we're seeing weakness in the Mag 7. It's mixed, but I have Apple, Microsoft, Google, and AVGO are all red. Rise Tesla's not. Although we had some GEX data showing that Tesla's Tesla's looks like it's kind of squeezing shorts out right now. So we're moving down towards the open on ES and NQ. So without really getting an entry on a short, it's not that I really want to be short, but if I could have found an entry in a good place, you know, trade location is everything. So VIX high day. MNQ rotating up. We're fixing to get our 15-minute mark. Let's see, volume's very, very low. I'm still just kind of watching this level here. Let's see if we can trade below the open on ES. Already below the open and mid on NQ.
EU proposes the first trade curbs on Chinese firms over the Russia war. So again, just to repeat that there, EU proposes first trade curbs on Chinese firms over the Russia war. So Bank of England says the APF gilt sale operation cover ratio of 2.88 and selling £800 million of bonds in the auction, receiving £2.3 billion of bids. So just taking a look into the EU proposes the first trade curbs on Chinese firms over the Russia war. So the European Union has proposed new trade restrictions on about 24 firms, including 3 based in China, accused of supporting Russia's war efforts in Ukraine. So the restrictions would ban European firms from trading with the listed firms as a part of the bloc's efforts to crack down on Russia's ability to get its hands on sanctioned goods through companies in third countries. The EU had previously proposed listing several Chinese firms, but those proposals were dropped following resistance from some member states after Beijing provided assurances.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So look at that right there. What are you doing, Russell?
New York Community Bank Corp rising more than 10%.
Russell's like that kid in high school, man, that I just always hoped would be a failure. So crude has gotten the overnight high. And Delta's curling up a little bit. See if gold's taking its low. It has. Crude still has some work to do. All right, so we're fixing to get a new period. Nothing happening in this period. May look to try short on the next period. Keep it tight. See what happens when we take the overnight low. Or the overnight high. Three minutes before the B period starts. We're back to positive delta now.
So in about 3 minutes' time now, we are expecting to hear comments from ECB's Cipollone. So ECB Cipollone joins a panel discussion on the Euro 25 and what's next for the EMU during the European Parliamentary Week 2024 in Brussels. So again, this was scheduled for 10:50, now been rescheduled for 10 a.m.
It's interesting. You know, this conference I don't think matters for the ECB, but you know, with them looking for numbers to see if they even went into recession, with property values in the UK, Europe worse than they are here, potential implications for banking. They were talking about last week, I believe, talking about potentially no rate cuts this year. The U.S. economy is definitely in better shape than the rest of the world, but that could maybe have some spillover effects. But I'm not a macro guy.
So surely expecting comments from ECB's Cipollone. Again, if you'd like to watch the video live, you can by clicking the entry onto the calendar.
So tick is staying positive. ADD is sort of flatlined here at 1500, which we know that's small caps. VIX is climbing. Look real quick to see what Mag 7 is doing now. A little bit more weakness.
Text will also be made available by ECB Cipollone in about 30 seconds time now.
Gold down 50 basis points. What a range on the S, man. All right.
ECB Cipollone says there's no need for monetary policy to generate
So
further
we had,
slack to keep inflation in check with demand weak. Inflation
that's B
expectations
period
remain
there.
good.
Got 80K in volume. Horrible. Horrible. So move value up a smidge. We now have a poor high.
Do you want to stay up to date with the latest and be on the bleeding edge of news for non-farm payrolls? Then sign up today and get our special offer of Financial Juice Pro
lose its
for a
mid,
year's
it looks
worth of
like.
our service for the price of 1 month and save 92%.
We'll see if these buyers can keep it up or not. Delta decreasing on ES. Very flat still. We'll see what's going to happen first. If it one time frame up or one time frame down on the intraday.
Fed's Bowman says as many risks remain for the Fed's inflation fight. And it's too soon to project when and how much Fed will cut rates.
Still hawkish on the rate cuts.
And ECB's Cipolloni's full speech is available on the feed for all those interested.
All right, so we may be
Fed's Bowman says, I don't see
one
cuts
time
as
framing
appropriate
down.
in the immediate future.
If we lose the open here, one time frame down, value is going to move down on ES. We have breath rolling over a little bit.
So Fed's Bowman's speaking during the Q&A session following her speech.
But still climbing. That's some pretty good size liquidity here at 42, 42.5.
Fed's Bowman says the current Fed policy rate is in the right place.
Strong negative delta. All right, seeing some absorption. 500 on the offer. Yes. Our hammer in the bed, man. So we have about 1,000 lots right underneath us. 3 ticks beneath us. holding the market up right now. And whoever's there. There they are. They're gone. Let's see what happens here. Yeah.
Primo,
Yeah.
I want to give you a hug.
Okay, quickly, please.
Thank you for everything.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry, I'm right in the middle of something, so.
God bless you.
All right, God bless. Sorry, I'm right in the middle of something, that's why, so.
It's okay.
All right.
So sorry.
Sorry, be
I'm
careful.
proud of you.
Thank you. So weren't able to move up. We have NQ rolling over. Want to see some movement out of ES. It's not getting anywhere here. Got too many buyers in the crowd. Makes me wonder if I should be trading NQ here. I saw some cracks in the foundation. We're below the open, not able to pop back up. There we go. We had some size just step in there again. All right, so one time frame down. Bid is much thinner now. I'm just not able to get anywhere. So I'm squeezing shorts out of NQ here. Yeah. Well, as we squeeze the shorts out of both. Damn. So the fact that that didn't work says something.
So Bitcoin rises to $49,000 for the first time in a month. So that's the highest level since December 2021.
Protect your trades from macro headline risk with Financial Juice Pro. Now only $99 a year for our real-time service.
Bitcoin 49,000. So ADD still rolling over. Pull back on RTY. We really have much size on the bid now, like we did the last time, but they pulled that liquidity the last time. So they can't even really trade below the open. But we haven't taken either side of the overnight session yet, which was a small session. We put in less than 8 points in the overnight, and we can't get that. So so we have more negative delta on this candle. Let's see. We're not really getting anywhere again. You know, they're really holding that open. More interested in seeing if they squeeze out the longs again. Making a little progress short, tick by tick. We still have a poor high. And the shorts aren't getting anywhere. But it's low volume. Thick book. So I don't really have an edge here anyway. Yeah, they try to move us up a little bit here. I have some positive delta, so we have some buyers trying, or shorts changing their mind. We'll see what that gets us, if anything. Very slow move to the upside. As VIX is climbing, Russell's back to its mid. We have ADD climbing, tick climbing. Bid's not really following us up. We're at the open, just crisscrossing the open. Better trade is R2Y.
So just taking a look at the Fear and Greed Index, 78 out of 100, equaling extreme greed. And the Crypto
Look at
Fear and
that,
Greed
pulled back
Index,
right to the
70 out
mid.
of 100, equaling greed. Just taking a look at the VIX, so currently up 5.2% on the session at 13.6.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Redonkulous. What are we at here? Gold. Gold. Look at gold, man. I am going to take a break. Come back for sheep period. All right, so starting C period. Trading below in the open on NQ again. Still haven't got the overnight higher low on ES. Breadth is climbing. There we go. RTY is fixing to one time frame up, it just did. I could have stayed in my long in ES, but where the market's moving today. Happy to get out and stay out. In hindsight, I do not regret that decision. I was expecting to see a little more of a squeeze, and when it didn't really happen, I was happy to just call it at that. All right, so now we got the overnight high. I'm looking for the previous high to fall. Still got a long way to go on NQ, but we see RTY is still doing well.
According to a research piece, Bank of America sees the S&P 500 rising this year, even if the Fed doesn't cut rates. So the S&P 500 can still extend its climb this year, even if the Fed doesn't scale back interest rates, according to their quantitative strategists. Do you want to stay up to date with the latest and be on the bleeding edge of news for non-farm payrolls? Then sign up today and get our special offer of Financial Use Pro for a year's worth of our service for the price of 1 month and save 92%.
Right. So CL crude has the overnight high working its way up. See if we can get the IB high and then the previous high day. All right. On our steps, there was no gap. We've got the IB high. No singles or anything yet. So we've got the IB high, the overnight high. That's it so far.
So S&P 500 hits an intraday record, so last up 0.1% on the session.
All right, that's enough for today. I'm going to shut this stream down and work on some other tools and stuff as this plays out. So, everything, pretty much what we expected as far as continuing the one-time framing up. We were not able to get the overnight low, no matter how hard we tried, and they tried. So the only direction, to look for, they can't even get the overnight low, then one-time framing up forever is to look to the long side. How much opportunity is there? I'd like to see after this next period, see how well we hold the previous high day, the all-time highs, and then look to see for opportunities to get another trade to the long side. So that's it. I'm going to do a post-market video at the end of the day, and then I will see y'all again in the morning.